Okay, guys, so I see that Mark is on a meeting. Let's start. First of all, I hope that it would be enough internet bandwidth which I have currently in my room, because sometimes I experience issues with internet connection. So in any case, I will try to switch off my camera if there would be some issues. So let's follow the agenda which Valerie sent us to all the Slack channels. And we will demonstrate you, and actually like Roman will demonstrate you the results of his contribution during this week. And he will show how we adapted the work of the configurable product. So a couple of weeks ago, we demonstrated how we adapted the configurable product UI, because you know that we have quite complex steps for the generation of all possible variation for the configurable product. And we just demonstrated the UI part, and now Roman adapted it, and now we are persisting all the data which we have on the front end. So Roman, feel free to demonstrate.
Hi all. Demonstrate how configurables are working. So try to configurable product. And create configuration for it. So I have one attribute, select all, assign apply unique quantity by SKU. So let's choose, for example, source 2 and source 3, done. And let's assign here source 3 and source 4. So let's set the quantity 5, 7, for example. 20, and for source item, we can use config. So I have config settings 7. Let me share with it for you. Storage configuration. Yes, it is real. Identify for quantity below is 7 in my configuration. So if I set some, for example, 33 and 55 here, and let's go to save the configurable product. Generate products. We have see here our sources and the quantities. Save. So after save and product is loaded, we can see that the same sources and the same quantities is here. And now if we go to each of these child, we can see that we have 33 for one, and we can use default 7. And the next one is 55th and 7. So now we can say configurable with the direct configuration. One more issue, it was to add source status to all source items grid. So let's go to the, first of all, to the simple product. So if I open some simple product, now I can see one more field. It's source status. If we have source enable or disable, let's go and disable some sources. So I have 4 sources. Let's disable, for example, default and 4. Is enable save. It's enable now save. And let's add here all of these sources. Oh, it's some bug. I need to fix it. Okay, something went wrong. Let's try again. Oh, Maybe
looks like you need to reload page. Looks like it is problem related to UI component dynamics rule.
So if I saved, it worked this quantity, but why it wasn't worked? So let's try again.
It was probably the refresh. You can still see that source 4 is disabled there once it actually loaded.
Assign sources. Done. Seems like it's really some bug, but it's worked for me. I don't know.
Because you mean you're expecting to see the source status listed. So the bug is that the source status is empty right now?
Yes, source status is empty, but it shouldn't be empty. Let's try to create new product. Add product. Sources. Something went wrong. Seems like it doesn't work in that way. It works only when the product is saved and reload. So I will see what is wrong and I will fix it soon. So one more is in configurable page. Next. So here it's work right. Seems like the problem is in mapping. Okay, and one more, it's the issue when we have simple product and we need to convert it to configurable. For example, I want to create some simple product, but I decided to create some configurations. As we see, we have tab sources here, and if we go to create some configurations, the sources tab disappear because we don't need to assign for this product any sources. Now, if I remove one product, it is absent still. And if I remove one more product, we can see the sources tab appear again, because now it is simple product and we need to assign some sources here. Seems like that's all updates from my side. Thanks for attention.
I just want to provide some more details regarding the previous ticket which Roman tried to demonstrate. Actually, why we decided to add this additional column. Actually, this was a bug which was created by Sergey, one of the contributor on a recent contribution day in Chernivtsi, and actually he's correctly motivated the reason why he created the bug. That currently in our grid we just show the source item status, but potentially, like, it's not really good from the usability point of view when merchant see the grid on a product editing page, but actually he could, for example, make an assumption that all the in-stock items would be counted in the aggregation, for example, but because the source is disabled, some particular source items would not be calculated. That's why actually we decided to introduce this additional column, which represents the status of the full source.
I have a question regarding the previous task. Which story is it part of?
Actually, there are 3 tasks were presented by Roman. What exactly task?
Yeah, can you please show which stories is it part of?
I can say the number of the issue.
Please just share the screen with the stories. Okay, that's one. Sounds good. Is there anything else left in the story?
I have one more question related to this functionality. Roman, do you have pop-up in configurable product wizard in quantity column? Roman, you are muted.
Pop-up? Which pop-up are you talking about? If we have a lot of sources?
Yes.
Yes, this pop-up is present if we have more than 5 sources. Should I demonstrate it?
No. I want you.
Why not? I'm not sure whether Mark already seen that pop-up. Mark, do we need to present that pop-up?
Which pop-up is it?
If we have assignment to more than one sources in a grid, so we show that tooltip.
Oh, right. Well, it doesn't exist right now, right?
It exists. So we shrink currently items up to 5 items in a cell, and if there are more than 5 items in a cell, we just show the pop-up on mouse over event.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. It looks like in the example though they didn't have anything with more than 5 configured, so it wouldn't trigger. So that may take some time to create all the sources to demonstrate it. My question is, does it have an icon that appears if there's more than 5, so the user knows that there's like a mouse over available?
I believe that we use default event and default browser graphics for the mouse cursor, if I'm not wrong. But we don't make any differentiation on the cell level. So in a grid, you would not know that making on mouse over, you will see the pop-up.
Okay, maybe I should check with Eugene. I just have some concern it might be inconsistent with how we do that in other parts of the admin. The only difference being whether there's an icon or something. It's either, that's why I say you have to check on the standard, either an icon or a link or something that lets the user know that it's possible for them to trigger the.
Okay, but
And the story can be closed already? Oh,
I'm sorry, did you ask if it could be closed?
yeah.
Yeah, we can close it. Even if we're missing an icon, I would just add another story for that.
okay, sounds good.
So just to confirm, that's on the final page of the configurable product wizard? Or also do you mean on the main product grid? So yeah, Igor, did you catch that? So the place that this would appear is the final page of the configurable product wizard there, where the summary is shown.
Yes.
And also just on the main product grid itself.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure that we currently have on a main product grid, but we will check it, and if don't, we'll add it there.
Yeah, I'll check it. I mean, I'll write up a story just to make sure that it's consistent between both. If we can decide
yeah.
whether or not it makes MVP or not, but eventually we should clean it up.
Yes, makes sense. Okay, so let's go to another item in our agenda, and it's supposed to be the source deduction algorithm as a result of the source selection algorithm. So I will actually demonstrate you the whole use case and the whole business case, how it actually the order plays, how we run the source selection algorithm, and how the source deduction happen. It was implemented by Sergey from eLogic. Thanks, Sergey, for that. He's a little bit shy guy, and he doesn't want to make it demonstrated. So I will do it for him. We already show a part of that scenario previous week, but we didn't have. So actually, we just make deduction based on the result of the default source selection algorithm, and actually, the next step was introduce a possibility for merchant to modify the result of the source selection algorithm and introduce some changes to this result. So let's go to customers. So first of all, I need to show you the initial environment we have. So we have a stock. The stock is Europe, and in this stock there are three sources in this stock. The stock is assigned to the main website, and there are three sources. And because we are evolving our priority-based algorithm, the priority, the order of the sources actually matters here, because Italy has the highest priority, Poland has little less priority, and Ukraine has the lowest priority. And now let's go to the products, and let's find the simple products. So actually, we have two simple products, test simple product and test simple product 2. Here we need to pay attention that test simple product assigned to Italian and Ukrainian sources, and has a quantity 100 on both of the sources. And test simple product 2 assigned to Poland and Ukraine, and also has a quantity 100 per each of the sources. So now let's create an order. So to do this, let's find the customer. So in our case, that's John Doe from Texas. Let's go to the page of John and create an order. And let's find these simple products. And for example, we would like to buy 20 items of test simple product 2 and 10 items of test simple product. So adding selected products to the shopping cart and choosing the shipping method. Currently we have only flat rate, getting the grand total, and now placing the order. So the order is placed, and now we have an ability to ship the order to John. Currently we still have this tab in which we can make an estimation which would be a result of the default source selection algorithm, where how the default algorithm will provide the which sources would be selected for this particular order fulfillment. So we can come here and see that based on our configuration, we don't make any delivery from Ukraine, because the first product was in Italy and in Ukraine. The second one was in Poland and in Ukraine, taking into account that our default source selection algorithm is priority based. In both cases, we choose not Ukrainian sources. So we choose Italian source and Poland source. That's why actually here we can see the the prediction how we will decrease and from which sources we decrease stocks. So now let's ship the order. And here you see that we've added the source selection algorithm button. It's drop down and it's extensible, and currently taking into account that we have the source algorithm which provide the source selection based on predefined priority. We generate here items to be shipped. And here you see that here you see that Italian source is more prioritized comparing to Ukrainian, and here is the Poland more prioritized comparing with Ukrainian. But here we can change this source selection. And for example, let's decide that we will send 5 items from Italian store and 5 from Ukrainian. And here we decide that we will send 18 items from Poland store and 2 items from Ukrainian. So actually, before this demo, we never demonstrated that we made the source deduction on more than one sources per order item, per order item ID.
Hey, Igor, just so I can see before you click that, can you change that last Ukrainian from 2 to 1 just to show partial ship? So there will be 1 left to ship.
So currently, like, you would like to see like this one, 19 and 1?
No, I'd like to see you're only going to ship 19. So there'll be 1 left. So that if we need to go create another shipment, it will show there's 1 more to ship.
Currently, we have a lack of this functionality, and this is actually the functionality we are working on right now to make the shipment in a to provide an ability to finish the shipment, creating a new shipment. So
Okay,
now,
yeah. So if we don't support partial shipment, yes, then you can put in any numbers that add to 20. That's fine.
Okay, so but in this case we will just deduct 18 and 1. Okay, so let's play the shipment. Oh, actually, Sergey just pinged me that it's supposed to work with the partial shipment. I think you see that his message.
Yeah. Okay. So we can see it.
Okay, so here's we placed the shipment. Now we are processing. Current status is processing, and let's go and see the results per each product. So here you see results for product, test simple product, where we decided to divide 5 and 5. So here we see the rest, so 95 and 95. So deduction made correctly. And here also we see results like 18 and 1. And
But what we're actually not seeing the full story there, right? Because it would have made a reservation and then updated it.
It's not a problem. I will show it to you.
I mean, it's showing, yeah, it's showing the correct information for the merchant. But I'm just trying to say, even more interesting things were happening than you were able to demonstrate only in the admin panel.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's exactly what you are seeing. So, but actually, I can show you how it looks like from the database perspective, and that actually that compensational reservation also created.
Yeah, that would be great.
It's always nice to keep all the security rules and log in with the root password. So, taking into account that our reservation happens on a level of stock, so here, two reservations created at the time we place an order. So we created a reservation for minus 10 items and minus 20 items. And when we proceeded with the shipment, we created +2, so that it was a compensational reservation for the first case, for first SKU. And here as we made a partial shipment, we created the compensational reservation for this product. So now we added 19 to this minus 20. And let's proceed with the partial shipment, and let's finish the shipment for test simple product 2. So let's come to shipment. So here you see that there is no possibility to send test simple product because we already shipped all the needed quantity, all the needed amount of that product, and we have just an option to ship test simple product 2. So here we can decide from which particular source we will ship it. So let's do it from Poland and apply the shipment. So now we're supposed to see, first of all, let's see that reservation been created. And we see that additional compensational reservation created. And now we're supposed to have the correct quantity, like minus 20 plus 19 plus 1. It's all together give us 0. And now let's see that actually the source item quantity has been updated either. And this is the one product. Let's refresh the page, and we're supposed to see 81 here. Yes, the quantity is correct. And here you see that, so the shipment been created, and there is no possibility to make any further shipments.
Can you click on shipments there just to show both?
Yes, 29 and 1. Here could be, here we thought what we need to do with the source selection, because currently we don't show from where we made the shipment. So should we leave this source selection tab in our order view, or should we totally remove it and provide all the data in a shipment tab?
Well, what is the purpose of source selection? Like, how do we expect that the merchant would use this tab?
Actually, before we had actually working source selection algorithm and source deduction, we used it just to see the results of how the source selection algorithm worked, to make it sure that it works, and to provide the possibility to make something demonstratable. But currently, for example, the only possible reason why merchant can need it is to see the default results of the how default source selection algorithm will work and what sources it will choose. But actually, we can do the same on the shipment tab, shipment stuff.
Yeah, no, I understand completely why it was added for demonstration purposes. I think that makes sense, but I don't know that we need to keep it as a tab because I want to make it as simple as possible for the merchant. So if they can have everything on the shipments tab, that's preferable to having to add another one.
Okay, so we will eliminate this tab in the scope of our further UI changes. Okay, so looks like this all from my and Sergey side.
Igor, I would like ask you to provide more information about modularity. We introduced a separate model and we can reuse this functionality without cells.
So you mean source selection algorithm, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's correct. I will share my screen again. Oop. So we actually most of our it's pretty technical update, but taking into account. I will show you. I even tweeted that some time ago. Magento MSI, Magento roadmap. So we prepared the source selection algorithm technical design, which we shared in Twitter and in a Slack channel. And because before that one, our previous design was really coupled to the order, and we had like the interface of the shipping algorithm, which accepted order interface as a parameter and provided shipping algorithm result based on the order provided. But taking into account that some of agencies, or maybe even we, but in future, decide to run the source selection algorithm at the time of order placement, we decided that we need to introduce some additional abstraction layer, which will provide us an ability to not depend on an order interface in our shipping algorithm. That's why actually we introduce the inventory request interface, which consists of the shipping address and all the items. And this request interface is prepared by particular factory, and that factory accept in our case order interface. But if extension third-party developer or guy who makes some kind of customization will decide to make the same for quote, he will easily introduce his own factory and just will create this request object based on the cart interface, so based on quote. This is what we've done, and when we've done that, we decided to put all the APIs related to the source selection algorithm into the dedicated module, and we call it inventory source selection API. So this is actually API which provides us a possibility to make a source selection based on these pretty abstract request interfaces. So it's not really highly coupled to our order, neither to the shopping cart. So the particular implementation is made in inventory shipping module. So this is update from the modularity point of view, and we consider that such architecture provides an ability to easily integrate algorithm if needed at the time of order placement. So this was the main idea behind these changes. So I stop sharing my screen. So according to agenda, Valery Naida will tell you a few words about bug fixing and the merge pull request we deliver to develop during this week.
Okay, hello guys again. A few words from my side. During this week, we also merged a few pull requests related to some technical things. I show this page. For example, it was pull request from Bartek. We fixed synchronization between legacy stock system and MSI system, and looks like it was the last stories in our adapt all catalog inventory APIs, epics, and looks like we can close and close 5 epic points. Looks like all tasks are closed. Also, we merged some bug fixing, like Roman demonstrated some improvements to UI about source status. We removed redundant configuration options for notify quantity. We introduced it own for MSI, but it was redundant because we already have these options in current instance, so we reuse these options. Also, it was a few pull requests about some technical improvements like pluginizations, fixing of our Travis builds, and skip test and fixing, so on. And now we have a big track which is in progress. It tracks about introducing is product sellable for request quantity interface. Now we already have pull requests from Alessandro. Alessandro works on implementations of this pull request, and we can take this pull request for another track, for another task, and Bartek starts work on shopping cart. Now shopping cart is working only with one single stock system, and we need to improve and replace this behavior with our behavior, and shopping cart should work with multi-stock system. This part take Bartek, and also we have Vitaly from Matrix. This guy picked up task related to integration this service, this interface, this service into checkout. So this is very big track, and I believe that next demo, or maybe next demo, we will demonstrate how it works on front end in shopping cart and checkout.
Yes. Shortly saying, before this week we had a situation that we have like 3 stories, and in each of the stories we have the only ticket which we need to finish to close that story. And during this week, as Valery already mentioned and demonstrated, we finished all that leftovers in each of the stories. So probably we can close these stories and proceed with further work on a shopping cart and the checkout. Mark, maybe you have some particular question or general question or any question related to current demo?
No, the demo is really excellent. It's a huge step forward to be able to see everything with shipping and the configurable product. So it's very great to see that. I still want to make sure that we sign all this off with Eugene on UX to make sure everything's good there. There's one for a SAW, for example. We have the ability to set the notify quantity for each source from the page there, from the product page, which is great. And the columns titles, I believe, were notify quantity, and then it said notify quantity use default, which is not this. Our normal practice is just to have use default and not the title repeated. Yep. So we just made it to make a slight adjustment to the title there. Like I said, I need to check with Eugene because that's his call, but it's a very minor point. The demo is excellent.
Thank you very much. Actually, like right before the demo, we discussed it with Roman naming in this grid, and also we decided that probably it would be better to rename like ID, which represent source code, and probably just to substitute ID with code, because currently the column name says ID, but the data which we show there, the source code is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So we will do like all that slide changes really, really fast right after the demo.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for your update, and thank you for your time and for participation in the demo. And thank you guys for all those of you who decided to spend their time with us on a Magento MSI demo meeting. And see you next week.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.